This activity helps students apply their knowledge gained through exploring Focusing Question 2, Why and How Do Scientists Explore the Sea, and prepare to use that knowledge on the second Focusing Question task. Students work in pairs to write a collaborative script in which one student is the scientist and one is the younger student learning about the sea. Students must cite evidence from the text, pose questions, and use domain-specific vocabulary in their script, which also serves as a graphic organizer for later independent writing. Pairs can perform their scripts for the class on the main stage, also serving as an opportunity for fluency practice, respectful listening goals, and repeated rehearsal of content. Step 1. Help students learn about scripts. First, it's important that your students understand what a script is. To put it simply, scripts are stories written in the way that people talk. Rather than seeing long paragraphs with descriptions of characters as they speak, a script shows the reader and the actor what each character is saying. Follow the instructions and use the resources in your packet for steps 1 and 2 to introduce your students to script reading. You can find these instructions starting on page 35 for the lesson Scientists of the Sea. Step 3. Introduce the assignment and practice writing dialogue together. Now that your students have successfully learned about scripts and read samples of scripts together, introduce them to their assignment. You can make it engaging by saying that today they will become playwrights by writing their own scripts with a partner about the knowledgeable scientists and a curious student. Explain the purpose of each character in this script. The role of the scientist will be to explain why and how scientists explore the sea, and the student will ask questions to help deepen their understanding of the ocean and ocean exploration. Remember, we will get our information to write our scripts from the 2 texts we have been studying in class: Ocean Sunlight, How Tiny Plants Feed the Seas, and The Fantastic Undersea Life of Jacques Cousteau. Before your students dive into writing a script independently, practice as a class how to turn the content in your texts into a dialogue between 2 characters using part 1 of the graphic organizer titled, Let's Practice Script Writing Together. 1. Start with the 2 characters that will be in all of their scripts, the scientist and the student. 2. Focus on the opening pages of one of the texts. As an example, we'll use Ocean Sunlight, How Tiny Plants Feed the Seas. 3. Read the first 2 pages together. Dive into the sea. Now flip over slowly and look up. The water is shimmering with light. My light. I am your sun, your golden star. All ocean life depends on me. So does all life on land. 4. Create a list of questions with your students that the character of the student might ask the scientist based on just those 2 pages. Use the following prompts as a guide. If a student was learning about the sun and the ocean, what is a question they might ask the scientist? A sample response could be, where does ocean life come from? What is a question that the student could ask the scientist about the sun? A sample response, why is the sun important to the ocean? Are there any questions that the student could ask about life on land and the sun? A student might say, is the sun important to life on land? Why? 5. Model writing 2 of the questions in the student dialogue sections on part 1 of the graphic organizer. Have students do the same. 6. Once you've created a small list of questions that the character of the student could ask, write with your students the answers that the scientist would give based on the text in the scientist dialogue sections. Use the following prompts as a guide. What answer would the scientist give to the student when they ask where ocean life comes from? The scientist might say, ocean life comes from the sun. Step 4, independent practice. 1. If time allows and you want to prepare further, guide students in creating collaborative character descriptions of the scientist and student. You can follow the instructions in your packet on page 38 for examples on how to prompt your students to create these character descriptions. Step 5, presenting. Once students have completed their scripts, you can give them the option of presenting in front of the class on the classroom stage, with one student acting as the role of the scientist and the other acting in the role of the student. Additionally, you may choose to provide a props and costumes box to enhance the performance. Before teams perform, review with your community of actors norms and agreements. You may wish to follow the performances with the community applause routine.